Okay. So I'm going to call to order the Shalom Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting for Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. We have all commissioners present, so I'm going to move to the invocation with Commissioner Adams and pledge by Commissioner Roberts. Please stand if you'd like to join us.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for the opportunity we have to gather here today as community members and to be able to talk about the events in our community and those of our citizens. We're so very grateful for the opportunity we have to serve and represent this great community and the people in it. And we ask a special blessing that we might be able to have thy spirit with us and might be able to make good decisions that would benefit those community members that live within our areas. We ask for our special blessings on our first responders and our educators and the leaders of our local government, that they might be kept safe and out of harm's way. We're thankful for the many blessings that we have here in the White Mountains, and we ask that thou would continue to bless us with the things that we stand in need of. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, seeing we have no old business, we'll move to new business. Item 6A is consideration of a preliminary development plan for Forest Golf Cabins, a 12-lot subdivision submitted by Philip Richards, located at Parcel A of Preserve Unit Number 1A at Bison Crossing, that being APN 309-01-997. And Director Dragaskis is going to read us since
yes, thank you.
Cutter's out.
Apologize, Ms. Fechtel-Cotter's not able to attend the meeting this evening, so I'll be going through. Siri, I don't understand either. So.
I don't know what you mean by haste free.
Hey, shut up.
Okay, I'll go ahead and read the background now. Philip Richards of Bison Crossing Preserve Villas LLC has submitted a preliminary development plan, or PDP, for a project to be called Forest Golf Cabins. I would like to note that name may change on the final plat. This project is to be located within Parcel A of Preserve Unit Number 1A at Bison Crossing and is approximately 3.32 acres in size. Maximum proposed total unit count is 12 units. Ordinance Number 479, approved by the City Council on October 17th of 2000, established the Bison Crossing PUD. This PUD established the criteria for development within Bison Crossing. Ordinance Number 2005-31 was approved by the City Council on December 2nd, 2005, which amended the conditions of Ordinance Number 479. The conditions of Ordinance Number 2005-31 have been included in the packet for review. PDP for the preserve at Bison Crossing was approved by City Council on May 1st, 2007, and the final development plan, FDP, for the preserve Unit 1 at Bison Crossing was approved by the City Council on October 16th, 2007. An amended FDP was submitted by the applicant to split the preserve Unit 1 at Bison Crossing into 2 units due to market conditions. The preserve Unit 1A and 1B at Bison Crossing were accepted by City Council on July 15, 2008. The Forest Golf Cabins PDP is a replat of Parcel A of Preserve Unit 1A at Bison Crossing, which indicates 12 lots with an overall density of 3.6 units per acre. Minimum lot size is 0.23 acres, maximum lot size is 0.44 acres, with an average lot size of 0.27 acres. The PDP will include public roads, consisting of a 32-foot wide improved surface. Staff has reviewed the submitted PDP and has found it meets the requirements of City Code as well as the Bison Crossing PUD requirement. Additional findings of fact are as follows. The zoning of all the surrounding properties to the north, south, east, and west is PUD, or Planned Unit Development. The land uses of the surrounding properties includes to the north, undeveloped PUD, to the south, the Hollow Subdivision, To the east, preserve Unit 1A at Bison Crossing, and to the west, undeveloped PUD. Transmittal memos were sent to all affected agencies. Applicable comments received include from Timber Mesa Fire and Medical District. Minimum fire flow is 1,000 gallons per minute for structures up to 3,600 square feet, and maximum hydrant spacing is 600 feet. No public comment has been received regarding this proposed development. After reviewing the standards for review, the zoning ordinance, discussions with the applicant, and because the request is consistent with the City of Show Low general plan, staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve the preliminary development plan for Forest Golf Cabins, a 12-lot subdivision located in Parcel A of Preserve Unit Number 1A at Bison Crossing, that being APN 309-01997, subject to the following condition. Number 1, all development shall comply with all applicable federal, state, and local requirements, including Timber Mesa Fire and Medical District requirements. Number 2, the project, including number of lots and overall density, shall be developed in substantial compliance to the submitted preliminary development plan. Number 3, prior to construction taking place on the subject property, the city shall approve all required infrastructure design, including street layout, drainage plans, fire hydrant locations, and water and wastewater plans. The applicant shall submit the master drainage plan with the stamped letter indicating compliance with the master drainage plan. Number 4, North Bison Preserve and a trail or sidewalk shall be extended to the end of the subject property in accordance with City Code Chapter 17.20 Development Standards. Radius requirements for emergency vehicles shall be met. Number 5, trees are of an utmost importance. As much as possible, street design, lot layouts, and unit placements shall be coordinated to save trees. And number 6, finished floor elevations, not elements, shall be included on the final plat for each lot impacted by the Federal Emergency Management or FEMA floodplain. With that, staff as well as a representative of the applicant are available for questions.
Okay, so we'll open up the commission for questions for staff. Commissioner Roberts?
That says that it allows for a contractor's office to be established. Is that correct?
No.
In standards for review?
I'm sorry, that sometimes when you use a template,
No.
things don't get moved over.
Okay, I wondered if it went to this one or the other one.
No, the contractor's office is in reference to the next item on the
Okay.
agenda. This is for a 12-lot subdivision.
Okay,
Now, that being said, anytime there's a subdivision under construction, they certainly can have a construction office and storage of materials and things in conjunction with that subdivision construction.
I just wondered if there was going to be either a temporary or permanent office built so that they could build these and what was going to happen to it.
There may be a temporary office, but no.
Any other questions for staff? Do we have any questions for the applicant? Okay, seeing none. Oh, do you have a question for the applicant?
No?
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Well, I gotta, I think, open a public, don't we, or no?
Typically you do, yes.
So if we have anybody from the public that would like to make a comment, I'll offer that. If not, I'll bring it back to the commission. And now I can entertain a motion.
I move to recommend approval of the preliminary development plan for Forest Golf Cabins, a 12-lot subdivision located in Parcel A of Preserve Unit Number 1A at Bison Crossing, subject to the conditions of approval specified by staff, and forward this recommendation to the City Council.
So got a motion by Commissioner Roberts,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Lewis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimously passed. So with that, we'll move to item B. Consideration, or do you need to make the, okay, you're good. Okay. Consideration of conditional use permit 602-04-246 submitted by Scott Martinson of Cambric Construction LLC to allow for contractor's office with outdoor storage on the property located at 3920 West Cooley, Show Low, Arizona, that being APN 309-46009.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Progresses.
Scott Martinson of Cambric Construction LLC has submitted a CUP or conditional use permit to allow for a contractor's office with outdoor storage located at 3920 West Cooley, that being APN 309-46009. The Subject property is approximately 8,276 square feet in size and was previously utilized by the KVSL radio station and is shown as an exception to the Fairway Park Center plat dated February 9th of 1976. At their regular meeting of May 11th, 2021, the City of Shola Planning and Zoning Commission approved CUP 602-04236 to allow for a two-space recreational vehicle park. The applicants of CUP 602-04236 decided not to pursue their project and sold the subject property to Scott Martinson of Cambric Construction LLC. The applicant is currently developing the property across the street at 3921 West Cooley and have indicated that they plan to utilize the subject property for a contractor's office with outdoor storage. They plan to place a modular building to temporarily serve as the contractor's office, and the subject property will be fenced with a 6-foot-high solid fence. Contractors' offices with outdoor storage require a conditional use permit in the C2 zoning district. All buildings in the C2 zone are required to be treated with natural appearing materials such as stone, split-face block, siding, brick, or exposed beams according to Chapter 19.70.120F of City Code. Additional findings of fact are as follows. Current zoning of the surrounding properties include to the north, south, east, and west, C2 or general commercial. The current land uses of the surrounding properties include to the north, vacant commercial, to the south, the Circle K convenience store, to the east, vacant commercial, and to the west, vacant commercial. Transmittal memos were sent to all affected agencies. Applicable comments received include from ADOT. They indicated concerns regarding dirt and debris track out onto West Cooley and State Route 260. Staff did receive a phone call from the adjacent property owner with general questions regarding the nature of the project. No opposition was indicated by that property owner. After reviewing the zoning ordinance, standards for review, findings of fact, discussions with the applicant, and because the request is consistent with the City of Shola general plan, staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve conditional use permit 602-04246 submitted by Scott Martinson of Cambric Construction LLC to allow for a contractor's office with outdoor storage located at 3920 West Cooley, that being APM 309-46009, subject to the following condition. Number one, all development shall comply with all applicable federal, state, and local requirements, including building permit, sign, and fire code requirements. Number two, measures shall be installed to prevent the track out of dirt and debris onto West Cooley and Clark Road, State Route 260, prior to the commencement of any construction or operations on the subject property. Number three, the surfacing of all access ways, interior driveways, and parking areas shall be surfaced in accordance with City Code and shall meet the minimum loading requirements outlined by Timber Mesa Fire and Medical District. Number four, an engineer shall certify any changes to drainage and grading on the site. Number five, sidewalks shall be installed along West Cooley in accordance with Title 17 of City Code. Number six, any buildings on the subject property shall be treated with natural appearing materials such as stone, split-face block, siding, brick, or exposed beams according to Chapter 19.70.120F City Code. Number seven, any vehicles parked or stored on the property shall be in usable condition. Number eight, all outdoor materials shall be screened by a 6-foot solid material fence, and all materials shall be stored below fence height. Number nine, landscaping meeting the requirements of City Code Chapter 19.70.120 shall be installed and maintained. Number 10, parking and lighting requirements of Chapter 19.105 of City Code shall be met. Number 11, all signage shall meet the requirements of Chapter 19.100 of City Code. And 12, the modular building shall meet the requirements of the International Building Code and shall be removed no later than 2 years from the effective date of this conditional use permit. With that, staff as well as the applicant are available for questions.
Okay, with that, we'll bring it to commission for any questions for staff. Vice Chair.
Yeah, just a couple questions for staff recommendation number 6 regarding how the buildings need to look. Does that apply to the temporary buildings as well?
It will apply to the temporary building, and we understand that that's a temporary building and not a permanent. So there probably will be a little bit of latitude there. However, we do want the building that's placed there to be attractive. So there may need to be some updates or some treatment that takes place to help accomplish that.
And then, and kind of in a similar vein, are there any in the C2 zone as far as temporary buildings, what setback requirements are for under this CUP?
So temporary buildings fall under the same setback requirements as permanent buildings.
Okay.
In the commercial zone, the C2 zone, you can be within 10 feet of your front property line. You can actually go to 0 side yard setbacks when you're adjacent to another commercially zoned property, provided you meet building and fire code. In this case, they have shown a 5-foot side yard setback, which would be in accordance with the building and fire code for setbacks for modular type building.
Perfect. Thank you, Director.
Any other questions? Commissioner Lewis?
Number 5 on staff recommendations. Who's in charge of paying for those sidewalks? Is it the applicant or the city?
The applicant.
Commissioner Roberts?
This may be a question for the applicant, but do we have any idea what the future plans will be after the 2 years?
What they have indicated to us is that at the end of the 2 years, and this is from Scott Martinson, that they do plan on removing the modular building and actually constructing a permanent office that would be used for Cambric Construction as their office space.
Any other questions for staff? Maybe questions for the applicant? Okay, anybody from the public that would like to make a statement or anything regarding this? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back and entertain a motion.
I move to approve CUP 60204-246, submitted by Scott Martinson of Cambric Construction to allow for a contractor's office with outdoor storage located at 3920 West Cooley, that being APN 30946-009, subject to staff recommendation.
We have a motion by Commissioner Lewis, and
I
a
second
second
the
by
motion.
Commissioner Roberts. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And we pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As with any conditional use permit, there is a 7-day appeal period. If no appeal is received by the city clerk within those 7 days, this will be considered effective.
With that, we'll move to item C, 6C. Consideration of conditional use permit 602-04-247, submitted by Joshua Valerie of FMX2 LLC to allow for 24 apartment units located at 5301 South Sutter Drive, Sholo, Arizona, that being APN 212-03-180A. Director Kugassis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Joshua Valerie of FMX2 LLC has submitted a conditional use permit or CUP to allow for 24 apartment units located at 5301 South Sutter Drive, that being APN 212-03-180A. The applicant has indicated that these will be market rate apartments for all age groups. The subject property is approximately 3.8 acres. It is zoned C2 or general commercial and is currently undeveloped except for a sidewalk on South Sutter Drive along the western property boundary. Multiple family dwellings over 10 units requires a CUP in the C2 zone and are required to meet the standards of the R27, which is single family and multiple family residential 7,000 square feet zone. Site plan has been submitted that indicates 6 one-story buildings with 4 units per building. Each unit will include 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms with a single car garage. The applicant indicated that the subject property would be screened with a privacy fence along the east and south property lines and will be split into 2 phases of 12 units each. The applicant plans to split approximately 0.47 acres off the north portion of the subject property. Just to draw your attention, the subject property map that we have in front of you, you can see kind of that tail poking up on the top. That is the portion that they plan to split off. That would not be part of this project. The new parcel will be sold and will not be part of this project. The remaining property will be approximately 3.33 acres. For this size property, the maximum lot average per dwelling unit is 2,500 square feet in the R27 zone. The total maximum unit count for this property under that density would be 58 units, but does not consider open space, yard, and drainage requirement. In addition, the maximum building height is not to exceed 35 feet. Additional findings of fact are as follows. Current zoning of the surrounding properties include to the north, C2, or general commercial. Also to the east and west are C2, and to the south, AR43, which is agricultural residential, 43,000 square feet. The current land uses of the surrounding properties include to the north, commercial, to the south, residential, to the east, Circle K and vacant commercial, and to the west, the Lake Ridge Plaza Office Complex and Mountains Meadow Subdivision. Transmittal memos were sent to all affected agencies. Applicable comments received were from Kimber Mesa Fire and Medical District, indicated that a fire sprinkler system may need to be installed, and no public comment has been received regarding the proposed development. After reviewing the zoning ordinance, standards for review, findings of fact, discussions with the applicant, and because the request is consistent with the City of Show Low General Plan, staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve conditional use permit 602-04247, submitted by Joshua Valerie of FMX2 LLC, to allow for 24 apartment units located at 5301 South Sutter Drive, that being APN 212-03180A, subject to the following condition. Number one, all developments shall comply with all applicable federal, state, and local requirements, including building permit, sign, parking, and fire district requirements. Number two, entryway landscaping, meeting the requirements of City Code, Chapter 19.70.120G, shall be installed and maintained. Number three, the subject property shall be screened with a 6-foot high solid fence along the east and south property lines as the subject property is developed. Number four, all drainage on the subject property shall be designed in accordance with Chapter 17.20.50, titled Drainage Design, and shall not negatively affect any downstream properties. Number five, the development shall comply with Chapter 19.55 R27 zoning requirements, including density, height, and recreation area requirements. Number six, building design shall comply with Chapter 19.70.120F and include mountain design architecture such as exposed wood beams, stone, split-face block, and other complementary natural appearing materials. Number seven, all development shall comply with Chapter 19.110 outdoor light control. Lights shall be fully shielded from adjacent properties and roadways. And finally, number eight, maximum building height shall be limited to a maximum of 35 feet. With that, staff as well as the applicant are available for questions, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we'll bring it to the commission for questions for staff. Facing no questions for staff, do we have any questions for the applicant? Questions there? I'll ask if there's anybody from the public that would like to make any comment. With that, I'll bring it back to the commission and entertain a motion. So, Commissioner Robert.
I move to approve CUP 602-04247, submitted by Joshua Valerie of FMX2 LLC, to allow for 24 apartment units located at 5301 South Sutter Drive, that being APN 212-03180A, subject to staff recommendation.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Roberts. Take a second from Commissioner Adams. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? With that, pass unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, with any conditional use permit, there is a 7-day appeal period. If no appeal is received by the city clerk within these 7 days, this will be considered effective.
Thank you, Director Dugaskis. Now we'll move to the call to the public. If there's anybody here who would like to speak on something that's not on the agenda, I can read the boilerplate. If not, we'll go to item number 8, which is approval of minutes. So we need to approve the minutes for Planning and Zoning Commissioner regular meeting of March 22nd, 2022. A motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Adams. Motion to approve, second from Commissioner Roberts. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That passed unanimously. That will move to number 9, which is summary of current events. We'll start with Commissioner Adams.
Another great day in Show. Glad to be here.
Commissioner Lewis.
Except for the wind.
Commissioner Adams.
Yeah, just a reminder, the weather's warming up, and which means the city has a lot of activities coming up in the next couple of months. So want to invite the public to check those out. There's a lot of good stuff coming and lots of fun times to be had.
Commissioner Roberts.
Just want to remind people that with all of the high winds that we've had, that dries out all of the trees and the foliage. And as we get closer to summer, we're going to be looking at more fire dangers. So we need to be fire wise and keep our areas clear.
Vice Chair Barlow.
Nothing to add.
And I'll just say, yeah, it's another great day in Show. So, Director Tregaskis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple things. Number one, we are still advertising for our vacant seat on the commission. If that is something that you or perhaps somebody you know might be interested in, please get them in touch with city staff, particularly the city clerk, and they can explain the ins and outs and provide them with an application. Secondly, just like to wish everybody a happy Easter for you and your families. So, thank you. That's it.
Thank you. With that, I will adjourn this meeting.